introduce our open speaker.
Hello. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm honored to introduce Lendall. Ever since I've been here, we have been together. We argued over the steps together. We debated the steps. We'd argue amongst friends, but we remained friends. I could remember about 10 years ago, my behavior had me doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. And I can remember Lendall and a couple of more guys come beating at my door. I come down, I let them in, and I go back, walk them up into my house, and I go back into the bedroom, and they all are standing over me, telling me what I ought not do. And you know, immediately I got defensive. But since then, and the behavior was jumping on people, ladies. That behavior haven't been practiced in 10 years. I found another way to deal with that through my friends. Lendall, I love you, man, and it's an honor to be here. Come on.
I'm an addict. My name is Lendall. Yeah, I remember that time. I want to start off by thanking DACNA for asking me to do this. I was flabbergasted. I mean, I've been doing workshops here, since we started this, and when they asked me to be a speaker, I never thought they would, because I know that they would thought that I would say some things that I'm not going to say. But I am going to tell the truth about my story. I had to accept the fact that God handles those situations, and that's their own individual recovery. So they had to deal with that just like I got to deal with mine. And I want to especially welcome the newer member to the Narcotics Anonymous program. I just got to do that because I heard Addie told me yesterday, she was talking about, I saw her bust out crying, and I know the feeling, you know what I'm saying, when you clean for, 6 months or 7 months, and you really get that, what we call that pink cloud. They get on that pink cloud, and they realize that they're clean, and they've been clean for a little while, and it just I just saw the feeling. I remember when I was over at Wheeler with Fred, when they had the countdown, the first time they had a little local anniversary at a meeting, and everybody, and I just walked in the back room and started crying, because it felt so good to be clean. But anyway, I remember the first time I got high, and I know a lot of people, we talk about getting high and what it does to you, and you shouldn't want to go back to that, and a lot of that, but I don't like to forget that, the first time I got high. And I remember this heroin thing, and the girl that I was going with, her brother, he was a paper boy, but he had a brand new Eldorado. He had a paper shop, and I was going with his sister, and he said, he introduced me. This was before the penny caps that they have around here. It was in the cellophane, and he came and he said, "Hey man, why don't you try this?" And I had just had got through a big situation with him about his sister, because she was messing with some other guy, and I ended up beating her up on the street. You know how we do. We solve our problems by whooping their butt. So when I came to the house, me and him met in the hallway, and he said, "You jumped on my sister," and I said, "Well, so what? You understand? She my woman," and we locked that hallway up. You know. Anyway, I came back over after that, and I'm looking a little bit better, and this and that and other. And he said, "Yeah, well, I'm glad you're coming to see my sister now, because you're starting to look better." This is when he introduced me to this heroin, right? The first 1-on-1 I took, I threw up all over his mama's couch. We was in his mama's house, right? And he was trying to clean it up, and I was thinking, this here ain't about nothing, but that feeling that I got after I threw up was tremendous, you know. I almost dropped it to my knees. I went into a nod, and I sat there on the couch, and he was talking about, clean this throw up, clean this throw up, and I was sitting there out of it. And that's a relationship that I kept in the closet for 27 years. You know, I did a whole lot of types of drugs, from the Seacos, the Truinol, Speckledex. And I'm just saying that because I wanted the newer member to understand that you're not going through nothing that I ain't already been through. So I guess I'm just trying to identify with y'all, you know. And when I tell a story, I hear a lot of people talk about, well, that's a war story. Well, it may be a war story, but that's my story. And I'm gonna tell my story, and you may not be able to identify with a lot of things that happened to me in my life. You know, by me being little and yellow and coming up on the north end, it really wasn't a lot that I could be. You know, I didn't have them idols, and you know, my idol was them pimps and players. You know, Ali Khan. You know, Nick the Greek, them kind of guys that I seen that had the new Continentals and the new Eldorados. You know, that's what I wanted to be. I ain't never wanted to do no work nowhere for nobody. And being little and yellow, I had to do a lot of fighting. I didn't particularly like them girls rubbing my head, calling me curly top. You know, I didn't particularly like that. And I went for the first couple of years to a Catholic school, you know, and I stayed in trouble, all the time, you know. I really, truly believed that I was an addict before I ever picked up a drug, you know. I can remember jumping off the third deck at Rude's swimming pool into the water and couldn't swim, you know. It was just the excitement that I could go out and, you know, run and jump off that deck and hit that water, you know. You know, I would crawl into people's houses while they would sleep and take their stuff, you know. And once I learned, I read a book called Trick Baby. And once I learned how to get something for nothing, that's all I wanted to do, you know. I thought my folks were squares, you know. They was my grandfather was a mortician, and my grandmother was a registered nurse, and my mother she played piano. All of them had some type of skills training, and except like me and my brothers, I just didn't understand that we fought every day, you know, going to school and back from school. You know, I had a fight with one guy that pushed me out in the street over a girl, and his name was Rodney Estelle. I see some of the guys from the end over here, but I fought him for a week, and he whooped my butt about 4 days straight. Yeah. The fifth day, I whooped him. But I've noticed that my lifestyle, the things that I'm really recovering from, is that type of living, the lifestyle. You know, the things that I used to like to do. You know, I wouldn't care how bad I was doing later on, because I've been. You know, had a few pennies 7 and 8 times, but I never could keep them. You know, I could do better right now today with $20 than I could do with $20,000. You know, well, I say 200. You know, because it was, all of it went for the same thing. Went for the drugs. I remember the last day that I got high too, and it was in July '87. It's almost 12 years ago. And a friend of mine, they had got together and they said, well, look, what we need to do is go to Miami and do what we got to do, and we'll be back. We want you to hold down the fort. I said, yeah, okay. And it was kind of funny how they would want to choose me to, you know, to help them, because I was around there like the real skid row bum, you know. I didn't want to ask for too much or nothing, because I thought if I got it, I'd probably kill myself, you know, because that's how strung out I was. You know, I didn't use the pipe for a long time, but I did for about 4 years. And I really, truly believe that that's what brought me into this program. You know, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you this story, and you might think it was a war story, but I got a witness sitting right here, one of my best buddies sitting right here now, had it that I OD'd on cocaine. I had I hit this cocaine, and I went from the we were supposed to be gonna sell it, you know. I was gonna be the big dealer, right? So we get there with all that. I walked from the stove to the sink with an ounce, me and this other boy, for about 2 days, and we had company. And every time I would get lower, I said, well, I tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it, and then we'll sell that, and we'll use this. And I remember my back started hurting, and my eyes had got to a point where I couldn't open and close them, and I ran and got in the closet, right? And I kicked the luggage out the closet and put a sheet over my head. I had a P-38 and a 9mm, and it was shaking like that in the closet. And the girl that I was with noticed that I was in the closet because I had kicked the luggage out the closet. And she opened the door and just started screaming and running because I was sitting there shaking with the sheet. And I told her to take me to the hospital, so she took me to the hospital, and I got to the hospital, and the doctor said, well, what's wrong, you know? So I told him I had been drinking too many beers. And he said, well, if you can't tell me what you've been doing, I can't help you. So I told him, I said, well, look, I've had a little cocaine, you know. So he gave me a shot. And the shot cleared me up. You know, I said, oh, shoot, I'm straight. So she said, well, you got to stand out. I said, fuck all that. I said, I'm out of here, you know. So I went home, and I was listening to this music on the radio on my way home, and it was some church music, right? Now I done got real spiritual. So I get home, I take a hammer, right? And she go to running around the house. I'm beating all the paraphernalia I got in there, the pipes and all that. I'm whooping them with that hammer, you know. I ain't never going to do this no more. You know. And I fell asleep. Later on that evening, I woke up, went straight to the gas station and bought me some more paraphernalia. I just couldn't stop getting high, you know. I wanted to stop getting high for a long time. I just didn't know how, you know. I saw what I was doing to myself and my family, but I didn't know how to stop. You know, that was the key for me, you know. The last day I got high, like I said, them guys came back here and they gave me a little package, and I decided that I was going to have me a party. I had a room over on Grand and 3rd down here in Highland Park, and I remember one morning I decided that I was going to have this party and I was going to kill myself. see, because I was tired of living. You know, I said, well, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna get high out of here. You know, that's the way I'm gonna do it. You know, because I was too much of a coward to blow my brains out. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just smoke myself to death. And I got to a point to where I just left everything where it was at. Now, how I ended up on Woodward, I don't know. But I was on Woodward, and I remember I had a dry $10 bill. And I took the one $10 bill. And I got into a cab, and when I stepped into the cab, no, I got on the bus. And when I got on the bus, there was just too many people on the bus, so I got off the bus. I was paranoid. And I got into this cab. And when I got into this cab, I sat in the back of the cab, and the cab got me to Woodward close to Mac. And I threw the $10 bill. There was really too many people in that cab. And I started running, you know. And I ran to Detroit Receiving Hospital. Now, this was the first time after a long time that I started realizing that it really is a God for me in my life, because I wasn't planning on going to Detroit Receiving Hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I just walked to the wall. I was too scared to go up and ask the lady, tell the lady what the problem was. So I just walked and looked at the wall, and it must have been, it felt like it must have been for about 2 years I was standing there looking. I was looking at the corner, you know, saying, some of y'all come over here, can't y'all see me? I'm messed up, you know. And wouldn't nobody come, so eventually I had to go over there and talk to them. So I went over there, and the lady said, she said, may I help you? And I said, I'm trying to kill myself. I want to kill myself. She said, follow that yellow line. In Detroit Receiving, they got a yellow line that leads you to the crisis center. Right? I followed the line, and they got me in the back, and made me go in the bathroom and take all my clothes off. They gave me this green outfit, right? And I sat there, and I see this guy was sitting next to me. He was marking time like this. Another guy, all his clothes off, jacket off. Oh, man. And they said, well, we want you to see the doctor. So I saw the doctor. So the doctor told me that I was smelling, right? He said, you stinking, you know. But I hadn't had a bath in about 4 or 5 days. It didn't make much difference then. You know? And so I told the doctor. He said, well, you seem like you have a few depression problems here, sir. But what about them drugs? He said, well, we can't admit you unless you get somebody to sign for you. He said, can you get anybody to sign for you? I said, yeah, I'm going to call my brother. So my brother called a cab from Wickham and Franklin downtown. And he came into the room where I was at, and he said, hey, man, he said, do you sign any papers? I said, no. He said, well, get your clothes on, let's get out of here. And I think that time when I read the first step where it says, when you finally admit that you're powerless, what do you do next? You ask for help. And I said, man, shoot, I ain't coming up out of here. If this is where I'm supposed to be, this is where I'm staying, you know. And he said, I got a cab, man. I got a cab waiting. I'm going to call a cab out there. You know, I said, well, you can go on, bro, because I ain't going nowhere. And he left, you know. And they took me to a mental institution, you know. And I stayed in there for about 2 weeks. And they got me kind of cleaned up, you know. I got kind of slick with them once or twice. They slipped some Thorazine on me, you know. Put me in a room, you know, told me to be quiet now. I could not eat, I was still I was so happy to get out of there. When I checked into the treatment center, he said, boy, if you don't do right, you got to come back here. I said, okay. So I went to the treatment center. The man said, They didn't have no beds. I said, oh man, y'all ain't got no beds up in here. They said, no. I said, man, I sleep on the floor. Y'all got to get me in here. Y'all got to let me up in here. I was scared outside. I didn't want to, I think I've been scared most of the time that I've been clean. I've been clean over 12 years. I'm scared of dope. At one time, if somebody walked up back of me and said dope, I started running. Just thought they said dope. But anyway, I remember my first meeting that I get into my meetings now. I make meetings regularly, I don't, regular for me, and I know a lot of people probably don't make the meetings that I make. Most of the addicts around here don't, even right now, I still make a meeting a day just about, or more, in this area. But my first meeting, I remember going up to the coffee pot, they had all these donuts, so I stuck 2 of them in my pocket, right? One of the addicts that was there then told me, hey man, come over here. Said, I'm gonna show you how to stay stopped. I said, stay stopped. I was trying to figure out what stay stopped meant. His name was William R. He said, by the way, them donuts is free. I wanted to get up indignant. What do you mean, man? Yeah, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I knew they was free. And I wasn't really thinking much about those donuts. I was really thinking about getting me another blow, or a crack or something, because now I done been clean for about 20, 60 days, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, damn, shit, I'm feeling kind of good now. I done gained about 4 or 5 pounds back, you know what I'm saying? And they done put me out the place, you know what I'm saying? They told me I wasn't going to make it, though. You going to use, boy. Scared me to death, So anyway, I heard the addict say you don't have to use if you want to. And I was looking up under the table for a crack then. And something dawned on me. I said, what did he say? It dawned on me that, he said something that kind of puzzled me, I thought it was a trick question, because my sponsor used to throw them questions on me all the time, I remember one time my sponsor said, how do you eat an elephant? I said, fuck, you asking me about an elephant. Good well you can't eat no elephant, But I think it was it was just the point that he was trying to make, or how you eat it, one bite at a time, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sitting up thinking that the elephant gonna spoil, I said, damn, it'll be rotten by the time I get through it. So anyway, I was running into all them things. I can remember, trying to get with this thing about surrendering, and for the newer couple, we used to have a thing where they say, hey, you surrender or die. They don't talk like that around here too much no more, It just seemed like you don't get it. And I had to kind of agree with Heckman yesterday on some of the things she was saying too, But because I've watched things change since I've been in the program, but I've learned how to kind of adapt, because the bottom line is I ain't got nowhere else to go. And that's the fact, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if I don't get with the other recovering addicts around here, what else I'm going to do? I think that keeps me, that helps me get the balance that I've been looking for since I've been in the program, I do a lot of service work, but here lately I haven't been doing a lot of service work because of, a family thing. I had got to a point that I was neglecting my family by all of the service work that I was doing, and I was starting to see, damn, I got to start working on me, and I started to doing that, But the surrender process for me is like being Ali in his prime, and you understand, going and getting your butt whooped, and then coming back and getting your butt whooped again, and then coming back and getting your butt whooped again. And then finally saying, well, I ain't got to be in the fight. Give me a ticket. I'll watch the fight. So, that's my form of surrender. And I really, to tell you the honest God truth, I'm just starting to realize what total surrender means. I always felt that I surrendered, and I know Earl Carr used to tell me all the time, Lendall, you can surrender kicking and scratching. You understand? Or you can surrender. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the kind of addict that like to kick and scratch, because I thought I was a player. See? I didn't know, and I am a player today. I used to think I was a player when I was playing, but now I know that I'm a player because I don't use. And that's the key. That's what makes me a player. That's what makes me a real player today, Because, I would, man, shoot. I'd take me a piece of toilet paper and an envelope and go get me some money. You know what I'm saying? And a drop of a hat, you know what I'm saying? And didn't care, you know what I'm saying, about who was, your grandma or whoever. It didn't make me no difference. You know what I'm saying? I had to have it, and I hope that what I'm saying is not affecting nobody, but that's just the way it was for me. Like I said, when I came up, it wasn't much that you could be, because there wasn't no astroscientists around my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? All those over my neighborhood was crooks. Crooks are the police. They was riding and the crooks was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no second chance. I'm enjoying myself in my recovery now. I really got a lot of peace. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the money that I used to have, but I had the peace. I got the peace. And I started realizing that the peace is really what I needed, I'm not doing as many insane things today as I used to do, It ain't so much, it's everything is about the steps, but it's more about me learning how to live today without the drugs. This is really, when they went through that thing, do you really understand that you're a drug user? That the drugs didn't use you? I mean, that you didn't use the drugs used you? And every time I read that, I say, damn, that's me. Did you change towns or go in new places or this, that, and the other? I did that. I went everywhere. And everywhere I went, it didn't make much difference. I still wanted to get down. Wanted to use. I set up some spots. I was saying the other day, talking about how I got caught on the train. I went to California. My grandmama and them had got tired of me. Had got to a point to where my aunt came over to that room with $30 worth of bus tickets. And she gave them to me to look for a job. And by the time she got to the door and down the steps of the room house, I sold them bus tickets and was getting high. You know what I'm saying? So, the idea that my family just said, well, go on and give him something and get him on out the way. I had lost all the respect for myself and everybody around me, because they didn't plan on, I can't say I came from no family that was what did we say, the dysfunctional family. Because my grandmother and them, they had, my grandmother raised me for the second part of my life. My mother died when I was about 14. But, she had programs. You ate at a certain time of day. You turned them lights off at night. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't come in, if you wasn't in that house at 11:15, you slept on the porch, or whatever, because she didn't open the door. And if she caught you looking at TV and you were asleep, she suddenly slapped you upside the head. And she stuck up, it was the old school, we all ate together at certain times, and if you didn't eat at a certain time, if you didn't have a job somewhere, she didn't crank her stove up no more. You know what I'm saying? That was it. She said, I ain't about to, you understand? They're grandmas. But she loved me, I found out that I got a lot of love from that. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of structure. And I try to do the same thing today, even with my family, especially with my kids. My son is on the honor roll this week. I've been wrestling with him. And I'm finding that my oldest daughter is helping me raise my youngest daughter that's here today, helping them with their homework and stuff like that, so they can get, so she can be on the honor roll, you know. Those are the things that I'm looking at right now, you know. I'm looking at, I went over to school with my son the other day. I guess this might be boring to y'all, but I went to school with my son the other day, and he done took a pocket knife off my dresser, a little bitty pocket knife, and took it to school, and they done made a major catastrophe out of it, you know. And so I go over and talk to the teacher, because I've been going to that school like, hey, for the last month. I've been over there like 7. I go over there every day to pick them up anyway, but I've been going into the school like maybe about 7 or 8, 9, 10 times. I done got on the SOC, some kind of board they got there to go in. And for 2 years, I was the safety man there. They done bought me a jacket, right? They got me a jacket, you know, and they done put the jacket on. Dream work, teamwork is the dream work. That's their little school slogan, you know. So teamwork means that the parents get together with the school and go and try to do something about it, you know. So I figured, I said, well, dog, you know, this is a good investment for me. You know, my kids are the most important thing to me in my life today, you know. Because I really felt at one time that I had left them, you know. Anyway, so they get this knife, right? So I'm sitting down talking to the teacher. She said, oh, he in real trouble. Ain't no question about that. She said, he might not never come back to school no more. You know what I'm saying? She said, I look at just like a terrorist on an airplane. And he done said it was a bomb, you know, because he done told some boy he was going to cut him, you know. He told somebody that he was going to cut somebody, and the substitute teacher is the one that told this teacher that. She didn't even have first-hand information, you know. So, you know, I wanted the teachers to know that I'm not over there all the time to try to make them do their job. You know, I'm over there to help them do their job. If there's a problem with the kid and you bring it to me, I'm here to help you, you know, because they act real defensive with me and say, oh, here he comes. You understand? He fixing to get off into me, you know what I'm saying? But I really didn't want to get off into her. I just wanted to find out what they were doing with my kids, you know. So anyway, I told her, I said, that don't seem like no terrorist attack to me. You know, this is a 7-year-old, 6-year-old boy that picked up a pocket knife that last week picked up $20 and brought here, y'all took from him. You know, he taking stuff out the house, right? He had $20 around there showing his buddy he had a $20 bill, and I was walking around there saying, damn, I had $20. What did happen to the money? You know, I don't know. And my daughter told, she said, I seen you buying with money this morning in the bathroom. I said, well, what'd you do with your money? He didn't want to tell me that. He took it to school, and the principal took it from him, right, and wrote my name on it because she knew I was going to be back looking for it later on that day. So anyway, I talked to the principal, and the principal said, man, I know that me and you are all right. We got you the jacket and all this, that, and the other, and we friends. But it ain't a lot that we can do about him coming to school with a knife, right? I said, well, you ain't got to be my friend so much as, why don't you just try to understand? This is a 6-year-old boy. And this is a little old pocket knife that he took off the dresser. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to suspend him forever for that. So he said, take him home with you today and bring him back tomorrow. I said, okay. So we went on with it, and then he got on the honor roll because he's getting straight A's in school. So, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even use that against him, you know. So that's really what I'm into today. You know I could be into a lot of other things, and a lot of other times I try to, you know, I want to be into that. But, you know, because the disease still comes up, I really know what I'm recovering from. And that's another thing my sponsor always told me, said, you know, you really don't know what you're recovering from. And it took me a long time to find out what I was really recovering from, you know, because I always thought it was the drugs, you know. And it is the drugs. Because everything that I do to keep from using drugs. And I found out that until I get used to doing it, you know, because I know that this program has 3 different functions for me. The first thing is I had to try to read the steps and understand what the steps meant to me in my life. And the second phase is learning how they work for me in my life. You know, like the 3rd, 4th step, 10th step, whatever step is possible. And the other is learning how to live them. You know, learning how to live the steps. how the steps live in your life. And I know a lot of times it's on automatic for me. I remember I was out at the golf course, and a friend of mine he drives the carts and rents the carts out on the golf course. And he told me, he said, hey man, he said, why don't you do this here? He said, just give me a couple bucks and I'll run your cart out, right? And I said, oh man, that's all right. I'll just go on in here and pay the money right now. See, that's a miracle for an addict like me. Because I know a time when I'd have told him, yeah, rent him out and give me the keys, I'm going to bring something for you. You know what I'm saying? Get his wallet and find out where he lives, change his name, take his stuff, you know what I'm saying? It would be on and on and on, and I know how the disease affect me in them areas. I could start off on one thing, and before I know it, I'll be in serious trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so progressive, and I know that's the thing for me today, even in recovery. That's where I'm recovering from. See, it ain't fashionable for me today to be no macaroni. Be no pimp. I was a pretty good little old everyday pimp, Yeah. I broke a record one time. I had one girl in one corner for 3 years. Even on Sunday. Go get it, baby. Get what I got to have. I got to have it. Break yourself. And I found out that I wrote that girl a letter. When I got into treatment, you know how you get them days of deja vu, I guess you want to call it, or whatever you want to call it. And I wrote her a letter and told her I was sorry for what I did to her, I was trying to make some amends. And she told me, she said, hey, well, look, I don't know how you look at it. She said, but everything I did, I wanted to do, so you can go right on with that. So I said, well, okay then, shoot, I ain't done nothing. I had to realize what I really did, because some people, they just like that excitement. Because I remember one time I told her, I said, well, look, you ain't got to do that no more. I got something else you can do, and she didn't want to do what else I had for her to do. She wanted to keep on doing what she was doing. I said, well, I'll be damned. Because for me, it was about who got the most money, Even though I had this disease, and even though, I was stuck on the drugs, I had a lot of other things that I had to detox from, and one was money and gambling. Man, I was possessed with gambling. I remember me and some of my buddies went out over here to the casino not long ago, and we decided we was gonna go on over to the bridge and gamble for a little while, And I'm sitting up here looking, and I got like $90, right? And I said, well, I'm gonna go over here and I can work the $90. I can afford to, lose $90. Somebody lent me another 60 so I could have 150, because we done had some kind of plot to where we all need 150 to go again. That's what we gonna start with and see how everybody turn out, I guess. Anyway, I lost 50 of it real fast pulling them arms. Right? I said, damn. And I said, shoot, I need to do something else here. I said, I don't use this thing, because see, I used to cheat for a living. See, I didn't gamble. When I gambled, I cheated. If I didn't cheat, I didn't gamble. That's the way I do. I couldn't catch myself sometimes. I'd look in the mirror, hit them seconds, take them off the top. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't catch myself. The only way that you could catch me cheating is to hear if I wasn't high. If I was high, you couldn't catch me. But if I wasn't high, you was a good chance you was gonna catch me. Because I needed them Seacos and them speckled decks and them Turinals in order to get the courage to do the stuff that I was doing. I needed them type of drugs to do them Seacos. Anyway, we gets over there and we gets to gambling and we done did what we had to do, and I lost this money, so I decided to take that other $50 and bet them on 4 cards. I said, I'm gonna just bet. I went to the blackjack table. I said, here, give me 4 cards. I put them the $50 and I blackjack. I said, oh shit, I done doubled my money. I said, try it again. I blackjack again. So now I got about $350 or something like that. I pulls my money down and goes back. I said, I'm through. See, because I done surrendered to that now. Because I ain't never gambled where I didn't cheat. And now all of a sudden I'm over here getting honest and lost my money, see. So that's how I'm looking at it. I went on and cashed my tickets in, and I watched my buddies gambled. And man, it was a terrible thing. They was running around there, they was pulling arm. I said, damn, I said, man, ain't y'all ready to go? No. They pulling arm. I said, but you working, and you giving them your money, and you working for nothing. When did you start working for nothing? Well, man, I just want to get these out, and as soon as I lose these, then I'm going. And it reminded me of when I used to gamble and how, what it did to me. As soon as I lost it, and I remember one morning, and this man, I lost $10,000 gambling. Never did it like this before. And I remember I had the money in the money belt, and I gave half of it to another girl, and I was waiting on this guy to come into the after-hour joint. And this is a true story. And I bet $2,200 dice win, $22 they make with their catch, and I throw the crap. I said, God damn, throw two sixes right in the box. I said, damn. So I bet another $1,100 or something like that, and I threw two more sixes. I threw craps 3 times in a row. Couldn't believe it. I said, holy, give me them dice. They said, no, we can't give you the dice. I said, that's bullshit. I reached in my pocket and I gave them $20 bills. I said, give me them dice. I took them dice everywhere to try to see if they were. I said, I can't believe this. I went home and got some money, came back, they closed the place down. I said, it was a 19-fold shame. Anyway, I went everywhere to every professional gambler I know. He said, no, man, the dice is square. I said, I can't believe this because I done told them they're going to have to close up. I said, y'all got to close up if y'all done cheated me out of my money. I'm telling you now, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but you got to close up. So, I was kind of known as a little old tough guy. A lot of people thought that, and I did a lot of things, but, to be truthful, I did a lot of things. Yeah. Damn, man, I didn't know that was you. And that's one thing about Narcotics Anonymous program. You never know who you going to run into in this meeting. I run into a guy one time that I had sold a TV to, the Rock in the Box. And he was at a meeting. And he said, hey, man, you the guy that sold me that TV with no guts in it. I said, oh boy, I got to do something now. And he was a great big old boy. And I said, you take a good look at me. You sure it's me? I said, I just got here from Alabama and I'm trying to make a meeting. He looked at me, he said, it looks like you. I said, take a good look. I said, it wasn't me, man. I said, go over there and get your table, first table. You been using? He said, yeah. I tried to get his mind off the subject. See, because that's a time when you got to either get honest or you got to use your head. One of the two, recovery for me, it gets real after a while. I was talking to some addicts the other day, and they was talking about recovery this way and recovery that way, but recovery for me gets real nowadays. The pink cloud is gone, and the process is in, and now I'm starting to see myself as I never saw myself before. And I'm starting to see that I do got feelings, because that's one of the biggest things for me was hiding my feelings. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to see that the steps are working for me in my life. I'm not no saint. You know what I'm saying? I'm still recovering from hustling at one form or another. I can remember I went into a store, Build a Square they got here, and the guy wanted. I had to get some material because most of the work that I do is carpentry. I'm a small town contractor, right? Small time contractor, and this guy was getting this material for me could get it for me for half price, right? So I said, well, yeah, we want to get the material for half price. It's all right with me, Better meet in the gas station attendant. You know what I'm saying? Since I remember a time when I tried to get it to help him carry it out the stove. So see, I guess all I'm trying to say is I am recovering. I didn't know that I had to learn how to respect people. I didn't want to do all of that. All I wanted to do was just to stop using drugs. That's all I really wanted to do, Master, I don't want to talk about my family. I ain't gonna talk about my wife, Even though we ain't together, I still love her. I just want to tell you that, It ain't like I don't love her no more. I still love her. I just know that I can't be with her, And that hurts. It hurts a lot of times. It hurts. But I give myself 3 minutes to cry and then I move on. You know what I'm saying? I know that when I go into that and I think about what happened and how it began, my motives wasn't right no way. And I'm going to tell you something. When I put myself in her position or any other person's position, because when we talk about relationships, we talking about, for me, some deep stuff, But when I put myself, I probably wouldn't want to be with me either. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm a dirty mother. I mean, for real, And she kept telling me she know me, and I kept saying, you don't know me. You don't know me, boy. You think you know me. You think you know. She said, I know you, nigga. She know me. So, but I've learned, man, that I can still be a father. I don't have, it don't take nothing, no manhood away from me because I got to wash dishes today. You see what I'm saying? Or I got to change my kids' diapers or whatever I got to do. I done came to a point to where I got to do it in that. And now it's even one further than that. I like to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving to do it. Because I'm seeing the benefits. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be no Mr. Mom. That's the last thing in the world I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? No, you go do that. I ain't cleaning up, get a maid. You know what I'm saying? I'll do this here. You know what I'm saying? But life ain't like that for me today. I'm washing clothes and washing dishes and cleaning up the house and washing the car and, stuff like that. The things that I should have been doing all the time. And a lot of us think because we addicts, we can't, that this stuff is strange for us. And it is. You know what I'm saying? But normal people do this stuff all the time. It ain't no big thing. Because a lot of people, even at the school, they say, man, we commend you. You bring your kids here. You do this and you do that and you do the other. And I say, yeah, well, maybe that's right. But normal people do that all the time. It's a challenge for me to do anything because I did wrong so long. See, I did wrong so long. When I started doing right, it hurt. It really hurt for me to do the right thing. But I'm doing it today. And I'm glad that, like I say again, that the DAC board asked me to do this. And I appreciate everybody for coming out here. Thanks a lot.
Stay here so y'all spread on. Hi, my name is Herb. I'm an addict. And can we close in our usual manner?
All right.
Can we close in our usual manner? Lendall, let them form a circle around you so we can close. Lendall, because everybody's trying to run you. Form a circle. Can we form a circle to close? Come on, can we get a lock on this end over here and we join the circle here so we can close? My name's Herb, I'm an addict. Can we have a moment of silence? Can we have a moment of silence over there? Peter, can y'all have a moment of silence? God, grant us serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can.